The National Association of Realtors just released their top 10 markets set to outperform in 2023. Now, you probably guessed it, that because I'm making this video, Charleston did make the list. Spoiler alert. However, we did not exceed in every single category. So today we're going to talk about where we exceeded and where we fell short and what that means for our local housing market going through the new year. Happy New Year, everybody. I am Bill Olson, your favorite YouTubing Charleston realtor. And that's right, Charleston was just ranked as one of the top 10 real estate markets to watch that are set to outperform in 2023. So Atlanta leads the pack of these top 10, with all 10 being in the southeastern United States. 2 happen to be right here in South Carolina. Greenville was number 5, followed by the greater Charleston area at number 6. The study used 10 different metrics to come up with their conclusions, ranging from job growth to housing affordability to population growth. So we're going to discuss where Charleston excelled in these 10 and where we fell short. And stick around to the end because I'm going to tell you what this actually means and what I think is going to happen in 2023. So starting off, let's read the quick overview on the Charleston area. Now, the report says that Charleston is expected to boom well into 2023, although the typical family earns about 10% less than the qualifying income for the median priced home. This area continues to experience strong migration gains due to the fast growing job market. So let's start with that 10% stat. This is measured by the Housing Affordability Index. So what is the Housing Affordability Index? Well, a Housing Affordability Index of 100 states that the median family income has just enough income to purchase the typical or median priced family home for the area. And Charleston's affordability index was second lowest at 88.3. The only one lower on that top 10 list was Jacksonville, Florida at an 85.1. However, on the other side, the national average is a 91.2. So we are still below the national average, but we are even further away from that 100. And for your reference points, the median household income, according to the census, was just under $73,000 a year, and the median home price was right around $400,000 for 2022. So let's look at something real quick. Now, if the median income is 10% less to buy that median priced home at $400,000, that means ideally that median income should be able to purchase a $350,000 home. How many actual homes are there under $350,000 in the area? Now, when I pulled it up, I did only single family homes, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. And in the entire area, there were 400 homes for sale. Now, 400 really isn't that much, but it's 17% of our market. So if you think about it, the median income family ideally can afford 17% of our market. And this actually rolls right into where we fell the shortest out of all of them, where we were dead last out of these 10, and that is the percentage of renters who are able to afford a median priced home, or that median price of $400,000. In Charleston, only 17.5% of renters would be able to afford that $400,000 home. And while we were the lowest out of the top 10, the national average was right around 15%. So how did we get into this situation? Well, that kind of brings us into the next point in the study about where we thrived. And that was with job growth and population growth. So our population growth from 2020 to 2021 grew 1.3%. Now, to put that on perspective, the national average was a 0.01%. So we were greatly above that national average. When it comes to job growth, we had a 6.5% job growth. So that in itself is fueling that in-migration. Now, a lot of this came from the work from home people. Now, we had a lot of people from the northern states. They were tired of the weather and they were tired of the high prices for everything. New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, up in that area, that all of a sudden they don't have to go into the office. So what did they do? They took the opportunity to move down south to not only get away from the winter, but it was like getting a raise. So while they had these jobs in, let's say, New York City, they were able to move to Charleston, keep the salary that they would have made in New York City and buy a home for much less here. So for them, their salary stayed the same, but their expenses greatly decreased. So that, I believe, really fueled our in-migration, and it will continue to fuel that in-migration as more people do go work from home, as it's become a lot more normal. And the last data point we're going to talk about is that increase in active listings, active homes for sale. Now, from October to October 2021 to 2022 that the study uses, in Charleston, we had a 55% increase. But I think what's crazier is when we look at from February of 2022 to October of 2022, see, February is when we hit our rock bottom. And, we were at about 1,400 total listings. We were under 1,000 for just single family. And right now, total, we're at about 3,400, which is still much lower than what we normally have in our balanced market, which is anywhere between 5,000 to 6,000. So from February to October, we saw nearly 150% increase in active listings. So while this number has gone up significantly, which, most likely, not most likely, it is due to the changing market with the interest rates peaking, we are still very far away from what our normal market is of that 5,000 to 6,000. So we're still, numbers-wise, a seller's market going into 2023. However, the buyers, as we know, do have a lot more leverage in getting a home and getting a better deal. So my predictions on 2023, after looking at this study and seeing what happened in 2022 was such a roller coaster from those rock bottom inventory to that peak of the interest rates. What we're seeing, the chatter we're seeing with the economists is that rates are going to stabilize at some point. A lot of them say they're going to just kind of tick up a little bit here in the first half of 2023. Some are saying by the end of the year, they could be down into the low to mid fives. I think we're probably going to see a stabilization between 5.5 and 6, maybe 6.25. And here's what's going to happen with that. In 2022, when everything was at rock bottom, buyers got buyer fatigue. They were tired of writing offers. They were tired of losing out. So what did they do? They signed a new lease. And how long are leases? Leases are 1 year long, which means that February, March, April, those leases are going to start coming up. So we're going to start seeing these buyers entertaining getting back into the housing market, especially with rents going up as fast as they are. Now, yes, rates are much higher, and that's going to be a little shock. But here's what I think is going to happen: that we saw peak rates at 7. I think that shock is going to be over. And as we get into spring, as we get into the warmer months, buyers are actually going to warm up to these higher rates. But we don't need to look at them as high rates because they're actually going to be historically average. The shock is just going to be gone. Buyers are going to start getting back into the market. It's not going to by any means turn us into we have 1 million buyers and 3 homes like we did. Sellers are still going to have some leverage, but buyers are going to have some leverage too. And because of that, I think we're going to have a steady increase in our market. And that's why National Association of Realtors put us as a market to watch. So between those buyers coming back in and people still moving here, we are a very hot destination to move to. That right there, that puts us in the top 10 out of 6. I think it was a good rating. Thank you, National Association of Realtors. Congrats to Atlanta, number 1. So what do you think is going to happen in the market next year or this year? This video is on the 1st. So what do you think is going to happen in the market this year? Are we going to have a steady increase? Is it going to stay level? Is it going to go down? What do you think mortgage rates are going to do? Are they going to peak over 7? Are we going to see 8s? Or are they going to stick around in that 5.5 to 6%? Let us know. I'm really curious. Were you stuck renting? Please let me know all these things in the comment. I want to know the situation with my viewers so that I can make the best content for you going through the year and bring you the most value. And as always, if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and click that subscribe button, ring that bell, give me a little thumbs up. I really appreciate it. And as always, if you're looking to sell or buy anywhere in the greater Charleston area, I'd love to be your realtor of choice. All my contact information is below. Can't wait to make these new videos for you this year. And go out and check out this one. I think you're really going to like it in the meantime. And I will see you next week.